Hey guys, it's Dan from DisneyInfinityCodes.com, and if you are anything like me, you've got all the 3.0 power discs, and you're thinking to yourself, great, I've got these piddly little wallets, I could put them in and clip on my backpack because I'm, because or my purse. Or you could say to yourself, man, wouldn't it be great if I could take all these, open them up, and then put them in one of the classic albums that Disney sold for 1.0 and 2.0. And they didn't do that with 3.0, which is a major bummer. And there's a few reasons for it, I think. And we might see something like this coming in the future once 3.0's collection is finished. I think the major reason why you're not seeing these is because of the spoilerish content that some of these power discs provided. Specifically, the upcoming Zootopia, The Force Awakens, and the Marvel Battlegrounds Power Disc Pack. And so they couldn't just be like, oh, well, here's an album that's got all the pictures on it of everything that is going to be released for 3.0, because it could have been a serious spoiler, specifically like, in the beginning of August when they started, or the beginning of the summer when they started announcing these, to show off all these kind of things. Disney, Marvel, Lucas, they don't like doing that kind of stuff. So what do you do when you've got all these power discs and you want to put them in an album? Well, if you take a peek at these classic 1.0 albums, there's not enough room. There aren't enough spaces here to house all the various different kinds of discs. Specifically, after we get the Marvel Battlegrounds pack, which I believe has 3 round discs and 1 toy disc. And then the Zootopia pack, which has 2 round costume changes and 2 customization hex sky dome and texture discs. So these guys don't have them. They don't have enough. So you got to say, okay, well, I want a power disc album. So what am I going to do? Well, you can grab these, because these power disc albums hold 40 power discs, which is kind of great, because right now there are 20 power discs out, and after the next 2 come out, there'll be 28, and which is more than these guys hold, which is they only hold 20. So you'll be like, okay, well, I can grab one of these, and these are on sale at a lot of places. I think they're pretty much impossible to find the Walmart version unless you're going on eBay or something. And you can find the Best Buy version still in a lot of Best Buys, but they're usually tucked away on the clearance rack and they're discounted like crazy. So you can still get these if you jump on board now. And GameStop has a lot of them. They have one that's Guardians of the Galaxy themed, still all the same contents inside, the same exact size, but they're still charging like $25 for theirs. Who knows if it'll ever come down in price. But so you can grab one of these, and what's nice is that, well, first off, it comes with these 5 power discs, which are kind of cool. You got the rare Spidey. You could take all these power discs and just toss them back on eBay and make, $4 or $5, or trade them, or or maybe you don't have them. I know for a fact that the Symbiote Spider-Man power disc is pretty hard to find. I resorted to buying one of these packs when I first started collecting just to get this disc, and it wasn't until months and months later, after I got duplicates of almost all the other Marvel power discs, that I finally stumbled upon one of these in a blind bag. So when you open it up, depending on where you go, because they had variants of each of these. Toys R Us has one. It's actually smaller than this one. The Toys R Us power disc collection is about this size for 2.0. But they have but Toys R, I'm trying to think. Toys R Us has one with Baymax on it as like the center, which is very, very cool. Best Buy's had Spider-Man. Walmart's had Captain America front and center, I believe, and GameStop has Guardians of the Galaxy. There you go. I was just trying to think of what all the different variants looked like. But so they're still out there in the wild if you want it. So here's what I'm getting at. Is that with this handy little guide that I'm about to throw down, you can take one of these power disc albums and turn it into a 3.0 power disc album, which is really, really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this one up, because I already have one that's already made. I already have the 3.0 album. I made a test run with another album. I got 2 of these, and so I left one intentionally boxed so I could show kind of the before on this video. So you can slide this open, and it's a pain because this part is so high that you can't just slide it out without tearing the box apart. I don't even know how they got the boxes together. And so there are the 5 discs. They're in there. They're in a little plastic sheet. You don't even have to take them off if you don't want to. So then if we look at the album itself, we open it up, and looks like there's a clear plastic protector on it. So we open it up, and inside we find the slots for 40 of the Marvel Power Discs. And so you're thinking, that's great. Plenty of room for all 28 of the so far announced Power Discs, 29 if you're counting King Mickey, and then 31 if you're thinking about the 2 Toy Box expansion pieces. So we can make good use of all of this. And what's nice is there are plenty of rounds and there are plenty of hexes. And on this side of the album, over here, because it's the front cover, the foam block here is really thick. And they made it that way so that you could put the Toy Box expansion games from 2.0 in there because they were tall. They were taller. So this will work perfectly for our 2 expansion games. So I know what a lot of you thinking is like, well, 2.0, 3.0 is Marvel, is Star Wars primarily. You've got Inside Out, you've got Battlegrounds, but it's mostly Star Wars. So I want an album that represents all of those, all the franchises of 3.0, and I don't want it to say Marvel superheroes on it, and I don't want it to look like it's another 2.0 disc. I want to have some variety. Well, I've got good news for you. So this album here measures approximately 35 inches from one end to the other, right? And then it's 12.25 inches high. Or maybe it's 34.5 and 12.25 inches high, right? So it's not entirely important, but what I did was I went into Photoshop and I photoshopped it's 35 inches long and 13 inches high, a huge one sheet that you can then take and wrap a 2.0 album with, get it printed and then wrap a 2.0 album with to turn it into a really cool, rad 3.0 album. So let's take a peek at what I made. Here we go. So this is the test, this is the dummy, this is the doofer, but I wasn't going to wait until I got the real thing printed from the printer. And surprisingly, it's not that expensive to get something like this printed. Don't go to FedEx, Kinko's, don't go to Staples or Office Depot or something like that unless you've got some kind of crazy printing coupon. Call up a local printer. Minutemen Printer is one that I have in my area up here in the Northeast. There are local printers everywhere. Their prices are really great. Look for your local like Xerox distributor even, because usually the guys who have a Xerox franchise also have all the right machines to make big prints. But essentially, what I did was I have a bigger printer at the office, and so I printed in 11.5 by 20s, and I split it into 4, which I'll provide those on the site. I split it into 4 PDFs if you want to go this route, and then I printed it and seamed it and then put it onto the album. But what's really cool is I've got all the play sets on here. So we open it up, we've got the Inside Out, we've got the Disney toy box, we flip it around, we got Marvel in the back, Rise Against the Empire, and on the front we've got the cool Disney Infinity logo, and we've got Force Awakens and Twilight of the Republic, and we've got this cool kind of like hex background going on. And you'll notice that Fear is a little cut off here, but it's because I didn't slide. I designed it so that these two would be on the front cover, and that these two would be more centered on the back cover, and that these two would be centered on the inside flap. So again, if you do this and you decide to go this route and you want to do this and get it printed, like I said, I don't think it's going to be super expensive to get something like this printed. It might be $10 or so. It really shouldn't be crazy. A lot of places print posters. Specifically, I know Staples prints big posters. But like I said, you're going to spend a lot. Or if you get a quote from those places, then go to your printer and be like, look, they're going to charge me this. How cheap can you do it for me? But this is really, really cool. I love this. I'm super thrilled that I got the idea. And you want to get it printed on some nice paper. Don't do this matte because you can see it's already, for me, and again, I just use cheap paper like this. But if you want to, and I might suggest you get it printed on something nice and then see if they have the ability to laminate it, because if they could laminate it, that would be really, really cool. And then so lay out that whole image. It's hard, I know, because I only have my desk is only so big. But lay out the whole thing, and then flip it over and lay this Power Disc album on its back on the big print that you just got made, and try, fold it over, try to like grab it and position it right, and then fold it back. And then what you want to start doing is you want to slice it and cut it as best you can, leaving about 1/4 of an inch or less of a gap on the end, so that you can take it, and this didn't work so well because I had to double it up in a lot of spots, and take it, and you want to be able to fold it over, and I might recommend a nice thin bead of hot glue as you work, because it will bond pretty quickly, or any kind of really craft glue. You just slowly work your way down the entire seam, and like I said, I just taped all this in as a quick doofer. It's not anything fancy. And it's important that you are folding this album while you're working it, because if you just take it and you attach it all, you just lay it flat, you go around the whole edge and you attach it, and then you try to close it, it's going to be hinge bound because you didn't leave enough room for the paper to fold and bend. So that's why I'm saying pick an end. The inside flap might be the better end to start with, because that's where you start to fold, and so you can start to slowly glue it down here and along here. Glue this end first, and then fold it, and then while it's folded, pull it really tight over here, and then fold it again, and keep pulling it as tight as you can, and then put a seam of glue down this side and close it. So you just want to make sure that you fold it while you're attaching it. And then if you want to use some big 3M spray adhesive, you can use a big glue stick. You might want to rough up this surface in some way, shape, or form, be it with as crazy as sandpaper, or if you want to score it with an X-Acto knife. You just want to give this surface here some kind of way, scrub it with like a Brillo pad. You want to give this surface, having it smooth like this isn't going to give a lot for the glue to bond to, and you'll run the risk of this peeling off. But so then you're saying, okay, great, well, we have the cover worked out and sorted, but what about the inside? Well, inside, let's get that covered. 40 spots, 31 power discs potentially that you can fill in here. So I don't want to have the Marvel, I don't want to see the Marvel power discs when I flip this open. I want to see the really cool inside. I want to see all of my 3.0 power discs in the thing. And so if you have seen my tutorial, I'm probably going to post these right around the same time because I went a little overboard. I made this a long time ago, but it is a Wave 3 power disc album for 1.0, which they never made, and so I made that, and so I did something very similar with 3.0, and here it is. It's a 3-page printable craft that you can DIY and print out and fill this album with. All right. And so however you position them is up to you. You can arrange them however you want. I haven't done it yet. I haven't had the time to cut everything out. I usually ask my wife to do it because she has a much steadier hand. Cutting out the hex pieces is easy because they're all straight edges. Doing the round ones is a little bit trickier. And so if you've got a crafty family member who likes to scrapbook, that's where having a set like this comes in handy. I don't know if you've ever seen these before, but they're these cool little, almost like spirograph discs, and they come with different size blades. And depending on how you cut on the inside or outside of the disc, you can cut out various different sized things. So I don't know if you can kind of make it out there, but the 2.0 round, all the round power discs are approximately 2¼ inches. So that'd be the green one on this in this case. But you can leave a little bit of quote unquote fat on the images that you cut out, because once they're cut out, and I have some cutouts from the other. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just cut one out here with you. This video is already long enough, so. I don't know why I'm worrying about putting that away while I'm on with you guys. Let me fish out my pair of scissors here. And what's helpful, so I'll say two things about what I'm about to show you. First thing is that what's helpful when you're doing this is to go above and beyond with testing and before you get everything professionally printed, or if you print it yourself with your nice printer, print out this set like as a draft and cut out one or two to experiment and try and play with. But what I suggest to people is take a power disc and then fit it on the image that you want to have cut out. And if you see, I made the mistake of printing this borderless, and so because I printed it, well, not a mistake, because I printed it borderless, the images are big and with lots of fat there. If you print it, sorry, I got mixed up there. If you don't print it borderless, the disk images themselves will shrink a little bit because they'll leave a space around the edge, and then it will be, you won't have as much play area or play room to mess around with. And so you can see that the disc is a bit bigger. What I tell people sometimes do is hold the disc there and then come around to the back and rub your thumb around it, or lay it all out and lay them all out. And then if you see, there's that little indent there that can be a nice little cutting guide for you. And you can do the same thing with the round discs. You can kind of lay it over and then flip it over and kind of run your finger around, and you've got that nice little ring to kind of gauge this exact size. You want to leave them a little. You want to leave a little bit left on the page itself. You don't want to cut it so tight that it just drops in super simple. So let's cut out this General Grievous one here. And I just printed this on really just basic printer paper. I did not go all out on the 1.0 version. I did cardstock, and so what I plan to do is I'm going to get this big image that's on the back of this thing professionally printed, and then I'll get this professionally printed too as well, and with a nice gloss paper, a nice gloss cardstock. So all right, so I'm just cut out this General Grievous disc. I just wanted to show how to put this together. So let me just get this out of the way so I can hold this up a little bit. And remember, you have your power disc as a guide, so you can say, oh, okay, that lines up quite nice, or I can trim a little bit off of it. But it's okay to leave a little bit of fat on it, because this foam block, where you tuck the discs into, has a it has a lip underneath it. You can run your fingernail around around the bottom of it, because it's just loosely kind of secured on there. So when you put the discs in, you can very easily run your finger around it and cause the disc image to kind of tuck in behind the lip. So I left this one quite a bit bigger on one end. But that's why I was saying, and that's why I've said, just experiment a bit and see what you can come up with, and what kind of fun stuff you can do with these. But don't go all out with whatever ones you printed nicely. And so there you go. I just kind of fit that in there. Now when you're doing this, you're going to want to glue it in. You're not just want to just set it in there and just leave it all willy-nilly. But if you set it in there first to make sure it fits, and then you put a power disc in it, the power disc will really make sure it's all down there and secured in the opening once you've glued it. So because now it really smoothed it out there. But you see there's a little bit of the paper coming up here on the lip here. But if I glue it right, and I put enough glue on the back of these with a glue stick, wherever it touches, it's going to secure itself into place nicely. Or you can just lay it over top of the opening like this and say, okay, I got to trim a little bit here, trim a little bit there, and be smart when you're cutting these, because I'm not going to want to trim any more up top here, because I'll cut General Grievous's head off. So I'm going to want to trim on the bottom and around it and whatnot. So there you go, folks. There is the custom Power Disc album. If you take a peek here, this is the first page. These little spots here are 1-inch circles, which fit into the thumb holes. If you don't want to see the background of the Marvel's Power Disc, you can take the 1-inch. You can just cut out 1-inch holes, and you can fit them all in there if you'd like. And then for all the leftover spots, I made these blank generic future Power Disc spots that you can just print out a few copies of this or crop it and whatnot. Maybe I'll add another page on to the back of these to kind of fill in all the rest of the. I'll add a 4th page. That's what I'll do, so you have enough of these to cut out when you get it professionally printed. And then I made a spot for Speedway and Takeover, and I would very much recommend you put those on this side of the album over here, because of the deepness of the pockets. So there you go, folks. Sorry that this was a 20-minute video. I did not mean for that to happen. but I wanted to make sure everything was thoroughly explained. So thanks for watching. Visit us at DisneyInfinityCodes.com. If you take a peek at the link I'm going to put right here, you can visit in the comments section or the description. You can visit the site and get a this downloadable thing, the huge PDF of the wrap, and then of course this four-page PDF of all the cutouts. There's some directions here on the page itself, and then I made this video to kind of illustrate how it can be done. So thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, visit us, DisneyInfinityCodes.com. You rock. We've got all kinds of other fun printable crafts and wallpapers and Valentines and gift tags and all kinds of cool stuff. So visit the site, check it out. We love Disney Infinity and everything about it. So thanks for watching, guys.